Data fabric. Favorite topic of discussion out there online these days. What is a data fabric? Well, a lot of different definitions out there. I'll give you mine. A data fabric is a data management architecture where data informs its own classification and use. This is pretty high level, but let's break it down. So it's a data management architecture where data informs its own classification and use, meaning that data can be used to derive and infer governance policies about how it should best be used. Gartner would describe this process as the activation of metadata, where you take data from across the organization and you apply some new technologies like AI, ML, maybe even knowledge graphs, large-scale knowledge graphs to it, where you can have the data start to inform when it's accurate or when it's inaccurate for certain use cases, for example. You would know if you were looking at a data set, transactional data, you would know when transactions were successful or when transactions were unsuccessful, and you would know what data contributed to a successful transaction or an unsuccessful transaction. You would know when there was problems with data. This does align to the notion of what's called data observability, where you can observe the data and you can start to infer governance policies about how it should best be used. Well, this is really what a data fabric is all about. A data fabric will say the data can tell us the best way to manage it, structure it, even things like quality standards or maybe even integration patterns. So this is to me, this is the large-scale vision of a data fabric. Now, pretty exciting news recently with the launch of the Microsoft Fabric, and I view this as a great stepping stone. It's a great V1 towards that future state where data can inform its own classification and use. Now, are we there yet with the Microsoft Fabric? No, I don't think we are. We've got a ways to go, but it's a great foundational step. I think you're going to see other large-scale cloud providers talk about similar deployments because this is really the future of data management. The future of data management is where we have greater and greater levels of augmentation, which is where the data and things like AI and ML are assisting humans in defining these rules, and things like defining data models and quality standards and integration patterns, where we move towards more automation of those exact same things, those business rules, those processes, those quality standards and whatnot. So this is the vision of a data fabric. I am a complete believer. This is where we are absolutely positively heading. Advances in technology are what's kind of fueling this. But it's really the business is also pushing this as well, because there's more data than there ever has been before. The business needs are changing. They're highly adaptive. They're highly flexible. We need to be able to respond and adapt to constant disruptions. The data fabric is really what's going to help us get there. The data fabric is actually going to help us scale our governance programs, because no longer will there be one set of rules for everything. There's going to be multiple sets of rules based on context. And some of these new technologies will help us with this. So this is the kind of the future vision of a data fabric. One last thing I'll leave you with here is that this is not just about analytical uses of data. This is not just about how to automate creation of dashboards. This is also operational. The future state of a data fabric is where the data can tell you when it is best used to facilitate a specific business process, to help automate the completion of business processes, like things like quote to cash. Can we automate some of these processes? Can we even automate things like supplier onboarding or customer onboarding? A data fabric can help with all of these things. So it's a pretty exciting future. We're in the early stages. Thanks to Microsoft, we're making some significant gains here, but there's a lot more to come.